you fuck with NFTs or just Bitcoin?
Yeah, I do everything. What
Bro,
questions did you
dog,
have?
explain what the fuck NFTs are to me,
Seems to be a lot of questions around that right now.
right? Just 'cause it's hot, it's a
Yeah,
hot topic, so I'm
yeah,
trying to figure out if it's something to even waste time on or if it's like something that's about to
yeah. Those
not
are good.
even matter in a couple of years.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really just the authenticity of ownership of something. Like you can prove that you own this thing. You could go and download a GIF or screenshot a picture or download the
Yeah.
original picture, and you have it now too, right? You can see it, view it whenever you want. You can use it for whatever purpose that is legal. Well, once you own the NFT, um, you can still do all that. Anyone can still do all that same stuff, when it, but what's creating value in it is that the NFT is proving that you're the owner, or whoever is the owner, or multiple owners are the owners, and that um,
It's
you know
Bitcoin.
it would come like if you it doesn't really have a great utility at the moment, but I'll get to you in 1 second. What's up? Welcome. But basically, if you could apply just think about like in the future what's going to happen. Like if you can use this concept to like property and other things like that, you could really you could show authenticity of ownership and in many different ways. This is really just like the beginning. It's a great idea. It's like, okay, let's create an NFT and give it all these simple use cases, and then in the future all these other people will come in and build upon this base layer idea, and the NFTs are going to be used for so many other things that we can't even imagine. Like we haven't created the next step, and then like the step after that is going to be like where like it actually comes into play to where
Shit
we can,
actually pops off, yeah.
well,
I
it
seen
just
somebody talking
becomes,
about doing like a plane ticket, NFT plane ticket or NFT fucking credit card.
you're
That'd be pretty cool.
like, yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Like a
like your
digital
idea.
picture of advertising a plane company, and it's the plane ticket. It's an NFT, or like
Oh, sure.
advertising.
Okay. So instead of like a digital email with like your information, it's gonna have more than that. It's gonna have like a, yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. Right. It's like when in the past, like when you buy, Super Bowl ticket, you're going to like probably mount that ticket and all this other cool stuff, and it could actually be worth money. I'm sure, if it's in pristine condition, it's the right seat, and
Right.
all this. Like, so not only did you buy and just, it's just a byproduct of what happened, the Super Bowl and your experience, but it's a memory and its authenticity that this all is connected. So it's like basically taking any additional layers and adding them to the value of the item and documenting every step basically in a timestamp, I guess, and um, having it all in one area, all accessible, and then basically up on the open market too um, for people to purchase that same item or
And trade it.
give it value. Yeah, give it
Yeah.
value. Yeah, you do have to be careful though. Like you don't want to buy all these low market cap coins because like probably 90 to 99% of them are actually going to disappear. What's
Yeah.
99% of 15,000? Let's figure that out.
Well, Bitcoin is just up there right now, right? Like it's just like it's it's up there.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is it at like right now? 48,000 or something like that?
I can actually
Almost
check for you.
50.
Bitcoin
Yeah, what is
is
worth
at
right now?
48.5,
Yeah, it's
48,500,
almost 50.
and we are in a downtrend, a very clear downtrend. And until the trend is broken, the trend is your friend till the end. So,
So I don't understand penny stock with Bitcoin. Like, I guess you could just look at it, look at it all, and like just kind of put in little bits at a time
oh yeah,
and
that's
take
what I
out
was
little
getting
bits
back
at a
to.
time.
All these low market cap coins here. Let me go and do crunch some numbers. So it was like 15,000 coins times, we'll say 99%. So that means that 14,850 coins are probably gonna fail, and then it's Yeah, that's probably about right, I would say.
Well, you think there's just gonna be like a
Only
group of
150 top
coins?
coins.
Like,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
basically
I
only
mean that's what
not
I think
fail,
too.
maybe not fail, but they're gonna fall so far down that
Yeah.
it's gonna take them like 4 years just to recoup all that loss, which is fine because they're so small. That's fair. It's a fair thing to wait for because then the next goal cycle, say like you bought in now and we hit the top, like I really don't think we're at a top. There's just so many indicators that show that we are experiencing just very normal, healthy market behavior right now. Even in these
Mhm.
huge dips, those are super important to have so that you can have different levels to create buying pressure and selling pressure in the future as you're moving forward, creating support, really support. Um, so whenever we fall down to a certain area, we dip 20-30%, and then we slowly move back up. That area will act as support next time we go down to it, because really all you have to go off of in trading is the prior history and the technical
Yeah.
analysis, the TA, and um, if you if everybody's practicing the same practices, and then if the majority is practicing those, then the majority of the market is going to be doing the same thing, which is then in return letting the market be more predictable, because you can you kind of everybody's following the same principles as to when to make the trade, when to buy, when to sell, when
Mhm.
to long and short, when to draw other conclusions off of a certain pattern, and
And it's
this is
crazy
all.
how YouTube brings people like that together. Like everyone shows a good amount of people what's going on,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
had no idea about
No,
anything.
what you can do right now, if you want, you're welcome to message me, and I just help people with questions. You can message me on here, and whenever you're setting up your account or looking to make a trade or something like that,
Yeah,
just message me, and I'll say, this is what I'm doing, and it'll help you kind of
I'm
make
definitely interested
informed
in like
decisions.
cryptocurrency and the blockchain, like free market, not having to have anything based off like gold
Yeah.
or
So
So it's really
w-
cool.
that's good. Pause there. Hang out in the group if you have time. I'm gonna go on to the next guy and just see if anybody else has questions here.
Very minuscule.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot
Bitcoin
of
Ethereum
it's
isn't.
systems
contributed
contribute
by the
so
amount
much
of
more
methane
than
that's
the
in the
There's
air and
there's
country.
many different layers that
It's
I
the
have to
energy
explain.
used.
I'm about like 10% done explaining your question, if that makes sense. Like we're not even on
And
the
if you can't
past the tip
explain
of
it
that.
in a few sentences,
It's
then you
complicated.
just don't mean it. You just don't mean it. It's not complicated. You're just not smart enough to know the answer.
well, yeah,
Here,
well
look,
then it
look. What
does
can I
contribute
fis
to greenhouse gases. I think it does
that
too,
is
but
that the guy asking the questions? Is that guy?
Probably.
I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, he's just toxic. But anyways, it's a lot to it. It's quite complicated. So, what I was getting at is I was going from 54% renewable resources. El Salvador's mining, but they're mining with volcanoes. They're mining with the power generated from steam from volcanoes. It's renewable energy. It's basically free uh, energy for them. It would be wasted if they didn't harness it. And so they create electricity with that through generators, that turbines that handle the steam. And then they put that on a power grid, and then it's consumed. So that's just one example of many. And um, what's cool that they're doing is they have built a mining facility that consumes that electricity that's coming from the volcano, and that's just like one little example. And then with
The mining
also
thing underwater,
mining underwater. What's that?
like mining for Bitcoin underwater, like a big, there's like a I saw a thing about some guy had like a thing underwater. He's mining Bitcoin for the heat
Like
with the
water cooled?
underwater helped him. Yeah,
Water cooled. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you
it was
can.
actually underwater.
Yeah. Well, it's not water. It would be some type of like non-conducting, uh, aqueous solution. So um, it would be like what is it that they use in computer rigs? Um, mineral salts. mineral oil. Sorry,
Okay.
mineral oil, and it's liquid, it's oily, and it's non-conductive. It's really weird to watch a computer be submerged in this and just run fine. It's really cool.
Actually, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that on YouTube. Yeah.
I don't know if there's other substances. I'm sure there are that do a more efficient job than just mineral oil, like a chemical. But yeah, and it actually cleans the system. It keeps it cool. You never have to worry about dust buildup. Obviously, it's a whole another system because you have to have a pump and a cooler and like a radiator and a fan and a
And you probably have
piping
to
and
change the liquid every once in a
two
while whenever you
tanks.
possible.
I have heard that like people have gone a really long time without changing it, but yeah, it's possible. If it's in an open environment, if it was closed and had a filter and everything, which would probably be how you'd want to do it.
No, I mean like
closed.
I've seen like somebody had like a legit
Hmm.
submarine type looking thing container underwater with a bunch of computers mining Bitcoin or mining crypto.
Oh, that's cool too. Um, like they could pipe air down and it would
Yeah,
and they would
and
use
like
like the water, like they would pump in water from, I don't know if
no,
that
the
makes
water
sense.
from the outside would cool it or
Yeah,
some shit like that.
that's interesting. I'll have to look that up. It just sounds more like a gimmicky. It doesn't sound very practical because you could always just pump water to a system. You don't need to be under the water
Yeah,
to do it. But that sounds cool. Like someone maybe created like a underwater chamber and they were able to like make a facility down there or something. But
alright, back on the subject of like
yeah,
Bitcoin.
yeah,
Did that guy already leave that was talking about like
yeah. He's
efficiency and
gone.
like
He doesn't
okay.
he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything we have to say. That's that type of person. It's okay though, cause
Well, regardless, I have faith in like in the crypto world and like I
yeah,
think
that's cool.
that it's gonna like help like break a lot of people's chains.
Yeah, where are you from? Are you in the U.S.?
Yeah, from originally from Florida, I moved to Colorado. I moved to
Nice.
Arizona, and now
Oh
I'm in
yeah.
Colorado.
Oh, now you're in Colorado.
Yeah.
Charles Hodgkin's son is Hodgkin. What's his name? Charles Hodgkin. He's in Colorado actually. The ADA, the founder of Cardano.
Oh shit.
Charles. I always confuse his name for some reason.
Answering questions about Bitcoin.
Yeah, welcome.
What's up?
I'm interested in hearing questions about Bitcoin.
Yeah, any questions you have? Are you familiar with Bitcoin? Are you experienced, or are you not? You're a beginner and you're looking for questions. Hoskinson, Charles Hoskinson.
First,
That's right.
let me just ask: are you trying to sell me something?
No, I'm just like if you have questions, I'm just here to
Do you think that you
help
have to have
you
money
better
in
understand.
order to start with having to own Bitcoin? Obviously, Bitcoin is not
Bitcoin's
free.
People don't understand, but Bitcoin is divisible, is fractional.
Right.
You can
Right.
buy like, I mean, it's going to be up to the exchange platform how low they want to go, but you can buy up to like 8 decimals of a Bitcoin, which is cents on a dollar per.
Would that
I
be
mean,
considered like penny stock or not?
no, I mean the market cap, yes, to some extent, but it just depends on basically the market cap, how large um, the evaluation is on a coin, and that's like decided by several factors, usually by how many.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's welcome?
At least
Zer-
Bitcoin's not crashing tonight, like
Yeah,
last
dude.
week.
Hey, man. Welcome. Are you experienced in
Yes, I am.
crypto? Oh, very
Love
good.
it. I love crypto. It's freaking awesome.
It's like once
Is it
you're orange
advisable
pilled,
to buy Bitcoin right now?
like you're not going back. It's pretty hard to.
Should I buy Bitcoin right now?
Yes. You should,
Well,
you should
How
not
much
just what
should
you
you
should do.
start off
not
with
financial
Bitcoin?
advice, but yeah. So let's take a look real quick. Okay, let's just dive in
Like
real quick.
100?
Well, it's gonna be whatever you can afford to lose for 4 years. That's
Whatever
every
you
4 years.
can afford to use for 40.
The amount that you are able to afford to lose for the next 4 years. Because if theoretically, if we're at the beginning of a halving cycle or whatever around the area of a halving, every 4 years there's a halving cycle, and to my understanding, the halving. Um, what does the halving do? You'd probably know better, right, Zerglish?
The halving cycle means there's less coins mined per day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it recalibrates the algorithm
And that
that
brings
that
down the
rewards the miners.
Brings down the
The
supply.
rate, basically
so
the rate, yeah. Right? Yeah, and that's a good question. What is I've had so many people ask, like, contradicting things
Is there
about
like a date
the
that it
length.
happens? Like you know when it's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think so, every 4 years.
Yes, you do.
So you know for sure
Well,
that
look, if you
after
wanna get
that
into-
4 year mark, it's going to increase in value. Because it has to, because the people that were holding 100 coins now hold 200
Do you
coins.
think that's the same thing for
basically.
like Ethereum and
No, Ethereum's
other
still
smaller coins?
Ethereum
Not
is actually getting deflationary very soon, or if not already. Like, it's actually the amount that is mined or
Is
staked
Ethereum Classic too?
in the
I
future.
don't fucking
Yeah, that's about staking.
every
They're moving away from
transaction,
mining.
Ethereum is now getting burned.
really.
Okay, so that
Why
means
is a
that
bunch
it's
of NFTs based off Ethereum?
it was the oldest altcoin, the largest platform to build it on. They couldn't build on Bitcoin because Bitcoin was even worse than Ethereum. And now, what's really cool about the crypto space is that you have technology built on technology, so it's compounding as time goes on, just like anything really, I guess. Knowledge for yourself, it's always compounding. Every bit of knowledge that you learn as time goes on, you're able to apply that to the previous knowledge and compound it. So you're learning at a quicker rate as long as you keep up, healthy habits to keep your mind fresh. You'll be learning at a quicker rate until you start losing it, I guess. But yeah, so technology on technology. So you're looking at Bitcoin, and then it's open source code, so people copied that code and tweaked a couple things and made it so that it's more scalable, cheaper, has more utility, can do different things. And then people take Ethereum's code and they tweak it even further, and then you have the next generation of whatever. We're probably at like a fourth generation or something like that, like whatever the halving cycle is. Usually every halving cycle there's some new technology that's NFTs, DeFi, and scalability.
It kind of like gives it
Is
value
this-
a little
is
bit
this
more
yours?
or less.
This head. So basically what's happening as time goes on is you're always going to have some new technology created that's better than the previous. So scalability, you have more scalability. You can send transactions at closer and closer to free, to zero cost.
Let's say what is better than Bitcoin then? Ethereum.
What's better than Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It's not. From my understanding, you can't really compare Bitcoin and Ethereum because Bitcoin is a store of value, and
Right.
and Ethereum is more like a AWS.
More like a tech stock.
It's more like an AWS where like it basically gathers information and lets people build on it. Bitcoin doesn't do that. Bitcoin just like holds the value of the whole entire ecosystem.
Investors and other people and shit.
Well, the rest of the altcoins. There has to be like a baseline to store all value of all the altcoins. Although all the altcoins are doing all the good stuff. Bitcoin is just supporting the value and the store of value for everything else to grow. Because Bitcoin can't really grow. Bitcoin can't evolve anymore. Bitcoin isn't going to get any faster unless, pretty much it's not going to. It's not going to get any faster. It's not going to get any cheaper to send. It's not going to have any of the other features that all the other coins have. But because of its early adoption, it has become the store of value, which everything is based off of. And it gives space for the rest of the market to create, just to create. So now they can create a whole entire ecosystems, and then those ecosystems are gonna be their own technology, which in the next cycle around, more technology is gonna be built on that, and it's all built on blockchain technology, right? And yeah, it's basically all blockchain, and it's basically blockchain technology creating security from more users and becoming more secure the more people that use it. Bitcoin is a digital asset which takes the place of store of value similar to gold, but is technically deflationary because there's a set amount, and the fiat dollar is backed by gold, or is not backed by gold. It's backed by a small percent of assets, which is infinite. So if you take a currency that's infinite and you can print an infinite amount, and you can take a currency that there's only 21 million, then you're going to choose the currency that is fighting inflation.
So would you say crypto is backed up by?
Backed up by the algorithm.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
algorithm?
Alright, is it too late for the Bitcoin?
No, it's not too
So
late.
here's what I would
Thank
do.
God.
I would.
You're in a
download
good
Coinbase.
spot right now. We're in a dip, which is a
I have
very
Coinbase.
fortunate time to
So
buy.
if
We
you have Coinbase,
we got lucky.
just put in $20 to $100 a week, whatever you feel comfortable, into Bitcoin, and forget about it. That's what I would do.
What if I'm
Just
down?
look at
I'm
the dip
down.
every 4 years, like you said.
So
I'm down
just like-
$2,000 in Bitcoin right now. So what should I do?
okay.
You should just buy $20 a week every week.
Okay, so
Even
here,
if I'm
let's
down
explain.
$2,000 right now?
Zerg,
Just
let's
don't sell
explain. Let's explain dollar cost averaging. Let's explain volatility, dollar cost averaging, and
Let's search first.
Wait,
Yeah.
Who owns Bitcoin? Can't someone just make some more of them?
I came
No.
in here as a joke, but I'm gonna stay.
If you have a
That's how you're
probably
getting orange
can
pilled.
mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's called like just having this financial epiphany. You know, it's like they call it being orange pilled, but basically you're starting to understand that our current system that we have, which is the fiat U.S. dollars, is not sustainable for very long. So we need something better, and the next best thing just so happens to be, the next best technology really in our generation just so happens to be in the tech sector, just so has to be in the financial sector, just so happens to be kind of it's the proper tech for the current times that we're in. Like think about electricity, like back in 1890 or something. Like you didn't understand that it would be the base layer for all additional technologies to be built on it. You couldn't
You have to search, bro.
grasp that concept.
Who owns Bitcoin?
Nobody. That's the point.
Who made it?
We the people.
the
I think
creator
a Chinese guy
goes by.
like
Well, you can't specifically. There's if you go to down the 4chan forums and you kind of dive into where the original users that were holding certain addresses that created certain posts and threads and leads. If you follow all those forums and stuff, you can kind of narrow it down to someone in China, I think. From what I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that, but
Do you know why they made it?
yes. So Bitcoin and crypto assets, crypto digital currency was created to fight inflation and counteract and fix the 2008 bailout, the property crisis bailouts. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, so basically what happened is all the banks got a bailout, so they get to keep continuing to just do their negative behaviors that they're doing, and they don't have any repercussions for their actions, and they can just continue on doing that. So, and the Fed can just print more dollars and just perpetuate their creating inflation, perpetuate their behavior. So, in order to combat that, there's 21 million Bitcoin that were the protocol was designed to produce over the course of, I can't remember, I gotta look this up, but it's something like 100 years. I really need to look this up.
Can't they just make more Bitcoin?
Last date, I thought it was 2140. That was the date in my head. Last date, the last Bitcoin will be mined. So let me
Can't they
figure
just
this
make
out.
more Bitcoins?
2140. That's right. So I am right. Yep. So it's a long time. So the last Bitcoin that'll be mined will take an extreme amount,
Is
an
there
exponential
a
amount.
number of Bitcoin that's out there right now? Like a set number?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the
So
amount
there's
of
21
Bitcoin
million
that
that can ever be produced. Okay, over the course of 140 years, we'll say. 130 years. So 21 million can
Why
never
can't-
be produced.
Why can't the owners just print some more out?
because it's created that in order to change the current code, you would need at least 51% of the network power in order to take over and change. And right now the network power stretches physically, because you got to remember there's a physical computer behind every part of the network that's creating the security. So the more users, it's scalable. The more users that are a part of the network, the more people, the more computers are protecting the network. So by growing, it becomes increasingly stronger, and I believe it would be exponential too. Pretty much everything is exponential, which means that it's like 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 2, it's like 2, 4, 8, 16. It's just like the way that our technology is progressing. You're compounding technology. So you're basically growing at a faster rate as you move forward in time. So you start off with a nice small slope. You can barely tell it's a slope. Then it starts to become a little bit inclined, and then it starts to become closer to vertical, and then eventually it's like basically vertical in a short amount of time. And in the beginning, logarithmic exponential scale would be more flat line, and then as it progresses through time, it becomes more and more curved because it's multiplying itself at an exponential rate. So security ramps up to that exponential number. The difficulty of mining more Bitcoin ramps up to that exponential rate.
Worth less, or it'll be the same amount?
It'll be worth more, because if it's adopted, because right now the U.S. dollar is backed by like a fraction amount of assets.
So you would be able to pretty much open your own Bitcoin bank, kind of in the same.
That's what a node is basically. So a node is going to be something that is it's like an entity that holds all these miners and then gets rewarded for the cooperative hashing power to mine Bitcoin. And I mean, this is probably the right explanation. I'm still learning myself, but it's more centralized. The downside is it's the most centralized part of Bitcoin, because you have to have a node. I don't know how many nodes there are, but you basically have to have a node full of other entities, miners, that are all trying to win the next block in the blockchain. Like the next transaction that happens is basically part of a block. So all the computers are trying to get this block built, and then they're rewarded in Bitcoin, and then that's divvied out to all the people that are part of that node or that pool. Believe me, it's complicated, and I don't know everything.
So do you think I mean, this is just like speculation, just thinking. Do you think in the future, once we hit that point in Bitcoin where you can no more mine Bitcoin, and there's people
for an affordable cost, right? I know, because
do you think that we'll have a different source of
energy? A different source of energy would definitely have to be happening, like in the next 10 years, because if we're exponentially growing in energy consumption in order to mine the Bitcoin, we're going to need to move towards the renewables. We're already at 54%, but we would need to get there.
Should put some computers in space. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, solar, but I mean, everything costs money to make. Everything takes chemicals to make. Everything takes other resources to produce it. You know, like you have to. Yeah. So the question is, here's the best question, okay? For our future to grow exponentially in consumption, we need to find the most efficient form of renewable energy. So what is that? We have a finite amount of water falling.
Pretty big.
We have a finite amount of sun. We have a finite amount of water that falls. We have a finite amount of heat that the Earth generates.
Why sun?
We have a finite amount of wind until it gets, outside of a range. What's sun? That? Why solar?
The sun is like everything in this.
Yeah, but if you this is something I listened to recently. Some podcasts I listened to. The problem with solar is that it takes these chemicals and all these materials to mine and build the panels, right?
Yeah.
And to so it does take money, and that's backed by petroleum or coal or whatever. type of fuel that you're going to be using to build that. So you have to add all that up, plus you have to add the length of the break-even point to when the solar actually produces more than it consumes, and that's a big number. So there's a lot to it.
And then I think it'd be less solar, more like heat from the sun. I think that
But
would be
here,
more efficient.
this is the whole sublayer beyond that.
Than
So
energy.
not just all that I just talked about, but the
Back
you
to-
gotta look at in terms of solar as a panel that takes up space and produces a certain amount of energy per square foot, I guess you would say. So there's only so much sun per day in each particular location, depending, and there's only so much space in each location that it can consume the sun, the
Right.
solar energy. So once you add that up, then you start to realize, okay, well, we're pretty limited here. We can only have this much ever given at one point, no matter how efficient we are at creating solar panels. So is that the answer? Is solar the answer? And then you can draw your conclusions from there. This is like where we're at now, and it's these ideas are.
What if we dig enough tunnel, dig enough deep in the hole in the earth and find some energy?
Well,
Up in the core.
that's what thermal what shit, I can't even think. A heat pump is basically it's taking the temperature deep in the earth and pumping. I guess what you do is you'd have like, it's like a radiator basically. You would with a pump, you would pump water in a tank down, heat it up to whatever the temperature is, 2,000 feet below Earth, and then you would pump it back up, and you take that heat, and then you would have a fan over that heat, and it would disperse off of a radiator, through a radiator, and it would create heat for what you're trying to heat above Earth. You can probably even do all kinds of stuff with like condensing into water and stuff like temperature to water and all kinds of other cooling method. That's really what AC is, I guess. But yeah, no, we do that already. We do dig down in the core and use the as close as we can get, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
some houses are
back to,
getting like that.
Bitcoin, NFTs. You guys, anybody own like a VR? Yeah, I got the Quest 2.
No, I've actually been looking into that, but I don't know much about it.
What are you talking about?
The VR headset,
For what?
So
viewing NFTs and other the virtual worlds like Mana and Sandbox and stuff. That'd be a great concept.
there's
Like
actually
any
an app
virtual
on the
world.
Quest 2 where there's a home. You go into the home and you can customize the home.
Yeah.
And there's portraits and you can upload shit onto them.
You know what's cool
don't know
though
if
about the
you can
NFTs? The
get
one thing that gets me is it's kind of like a contradictory thing where like you buy this thing that you get the proof of original documents that you're the owner and that you spent this much money, and so theoretically it should be worth this much money at least, right? Because why else would you be spending that much money on it if you didn't believe that the value would go up? Well, besides that point, it's cool because you now can show off your piece of art that you actually own, and that art isn't limited to like some physical thing that's shown in the dark corners of a gallery or something. Like it's actually, you can share it to the masses and you can say, hey, look, this artist created this. So there are some really cool stuff, and it's digital. You can have a nice big digital picture mount or something, and it could advertise the NFT with all the information at the bottom of how you owned it and when and how and why and the current adjusted value that's a live value of it. That would be like you walk into an art gallery, you see a painting on the wall, and
I think the art's gonna
and that
extend, like, even
that art
more.
doesn't have a little tab underneath it with a little screen that says the exact price every cent that moves as time goes on, the trading value of it. What's up?
It would be cool if we can create like little
This
worlds.
guy's name is actually just Bitcoin. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Any
So
questions?
what
What is it?
Could you inform me?
Yeah. Okay, let's go there. So Bitcoin is built on blockchain technology,
What is
which blockchain technology takes an event, something that has happened. It creates a receipt for it, and
Mhm.
that receipt is then basically proven by the hash power of a network, which is the mining aspect. So you're using resources to create a value,
Hi.
and you're receiving Bitcoin
I'm trying to
by
learn about Bitcoin.
you're basically receiving Bitcoin by solving complex calculations with mining hardware. That you then receive the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin then has the value, and then that's all blockchain technology. That's the protocol, like basically the token. Each token has a protocol, and let's see here. So then, I'm still. So let's get back to the blockchain technology. You guys definitely need to understand
I have a question.
What's up?
Teacher, so do you have to be smart to do all of this?
Nope, it's just common sense. Once you understand how it works, it's very easy to understand. It's actually easier. It's actually easier to understand than our current system that we use with the U.S. dollar, the fiat system. So let me explain three things. Let me explain three things. Listen. Yeah, but you're backed by the U.S. dollar.
Which province?
Listen.
Guess. The worst province.
What is the worst province? Saskatchewan.
Yeah, the worst. No, not Saskatchewan. Close.
Oh my god, I just will never learn about Bitcoin.
Okay, so guys, we're trying to. I don't want to deviate.
Baby,
There's a lot of people in this group.
I'm in Alberta.
Oh,
Guys,
that's amazing.
can you let me finish through this thought here?
Sorry.
No,
Okay,
no worries.
continue, teacher.
No worries.
Sorry.
Okay, so basically, blockchain technology. We're gonna hit on three things: mining, how it's Bitcoin is produced; blockchain technology, like the technology that this secure system is built on; and then we're gonna talk about the reason why, compared to the U.S. dollar and other fiat currencies, that it has value over them. Okay, so let's start with mining. Basically,
Hold on. I gotta leave. Can I just ask you a quick question?
Send me a message, and then if you have questions in the future, I'll just answer them through there.
No, let me ask you a personal question. Why are you so interested in Bitcoin?
Once I explain these three things, then you'll know why.
Oh hell no!
I'm
Then
serious.
you gotta
go.
leave.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta
That's why you gotta
go.
message me. I know. It's okay. No worries, man.
All right. I
Take care.
appreciate your insight.
Yeah. Take care. I'll add you. You
I'm
can
reading
add me later.
scratch before you continue.
Alright.
Okay, I'll send this to you.
It's okay. Let me just add a couple people here. Take your time.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Take care.
See a shoddy?
Okay. So
Scott.
okay. You pour your scotch. I'll take a sip of some
Do you
wine.
think Bitcoin could be converted into different cryptocurrencies?
It is, yeah. It can be broken down into decimal points. It can be purchased at cents on the dollar. It can be traded at any time. 24/7.
Okay, so you can trade crypto for like an
There's no-
Ethereum coin.
Yeah, there's no market close either. It's not like the stock market. Don't worry about the stock market. Just focus on the
Bitcoin
crypto
itself.
world. Yeah, the crypto world, like how it operates, and then you can look at the stock market separately. There are similar like aspects to it, but
I would definitely love to just hold a real fucking Bitcoin. I think everybody would, because they're fucking.
yeah. The chances of holding a Bitcoin are slim to none. Like it's getting further and further away. Like
But I think even if you own one, you could probably.
That's
in
all
the
you need.
future
You
own a
really-
bank,
all you need is like
your own
0.02.
Bitcoin bank.
In the future, all you need is like 0.01 Bitcoin. So if you can get to 0.01 Bitcoin, which is like
With the
$6,000,
blockchain,
you should
it
be
wouldn't
fine.
even be like a bank. It would be more of like a virtual fucking store or something. that you
That's
can
what it
only
is, yeah. Okay, so
trade.
now that we're all here, right? Everybody's here. So let's start with those three things. You have your mining, how you receive the Bitcoin, how it's created. Then you have your blockchain technology that it's built on and why it exists, like how it exists. And then you have your the reason why the value of Bitcoin compared to the U.S. dollar and other currencies is going to be just a better design. It's just better technology. We created this fiat currency technology. Well, Bitcoin's just a better version of it. It's a digital version, and it's safer.
Is it the first one? First crypto?
No, there's actually, if you look in the history, it's just like anything. You go back to computers, it's not Microsoft, it's like people in the 70s and 60s and stuff creating these like huge large
Probably the
computers.
first
You
one
know
that
what I
like,
mean?
really popped off.
You know what I mean though, like there's other technologies that are similar, but this is the one that's more refined, that took hold. It's really about the majority.
Holocaust!
What's up? Welcome.
What's up, my shoddy?
Okay, so let me finish
Sorry,
yours.
teacher, continue.
Yeah, so you have your mining, you have your blockchain technology, and you have your reason why it has value. So let's start at the mining. You're going to be
Can I supply a Mexican cartel with Bitcoin?
We're trying to get through a lot here. We have a lot of people in the room, so just chill for a second here, and let me get through this first.
Of course.
How would you mine?
Okay, so we're starting at the
apps
mining,
for that.
right? Okay, so
Yeah.
try not to interrupt me here so I can get through this real quick, and then we'll answer questions. So basically, you're going to use your computer, which costs money and takes a lot of processing power. You know, it's equal to value. The stronger the computer is, the more it costs, right? We all know that.
Okay.
So basically, that's like a nice starting point for value. So that's mining Bitcoin. So what it's doing is it's crunching really intense algorithm equations and being rewarded by the speed that it can do that in a certain return of Bitcoin according to the protocol. The protocol is written that says these are the parameters, and if you can follow the parameters, you'll be rewarded at this rate. So every 4 years there's a halving, which means that it becomes harder to mine Bitcoin. So theoretically, you can now mine less for the same amount of money, so value should go up. Bitcoin also has 21 million total coins. The fiat system, which we're getting to point number 3, only used to be backed by the gold standard, and now it's basically infinite. So let's go back to the
This
mining.
game can potentially give you knowledge to make you rich.
Yeah. So basically, you have your mining, which rewards you. You get paid out according to the protocol. It becomes worth more over time because of the way it's designed. It also becomes more secure over time because we're getting to the next point that the more users that use this platform, the more power that it has, which is harder to take over. So you need at least 51% hashing power, which is, just think about all the computers and pieces of hardware out there, that billions of dollars. Like, you can't even understand how much is out there mining right now. And you would have to have that. You would have to have 51% of that, which would be pretty hard to do. To all the people that are a part of this space are, it's more profitable to just go buy a miner instead of and mine Bitcoin and receive Bitcoin than do any harm to the system. So it's like a self check.
Really as desperate as having phones, like about 10.
Yeah, you can see all that stuff. Yep. They can
And
mine
they're
at a
just
super
mining
super
Bitcoin.
low hash rate, just really slow hash rate. That's all.
But they'll literally make about good, like $75 a day and shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it just comes down to the consumption of electricity. We're still in the mining, number 1. So it comes down to the amount of electricity that you consume for the amount of hashing power that your computer produces, your mining rig produces, and the current rate, or where we're at in this timeline of the value of it. So those 3 things are going to equal value.
So where
the
are we
current value.
in terms of the timeline?
So we just had a halving this past January-ish. I have to look that up, actually, the exact date when that happened. So the halving is when the mining rate becomes more difficult to mine the same amount of Bitcoin. So what happens basically is all the people that hold Bitcoin now, basically, in order to get that same amount of Bitcoin, you have to put in more time, money, and energy. So that Bitcoin theoretically is worth more. That's why it goes up in value. And also, too, another misconception that people don't really understand is that every 2 weeks the algorithm checks to make sure that it's within its parameters. Like, there's probably a percentage that if everybody on the network is mining too much Bitcoin, it recorrects. So it's like a self-checking system to where it has to stay within a certain parameter, so that you don't just like mine all the Bitcoin. Like, it needs to be to where it gets to that point at that.
Physically
So it's
make you
moderated.
not.
Yeah,
You just mine
by the
slower.
code, and
Everyone's
it's
mining slower.
that's what makes it decentralized, is that it's the code itself that's governing these principles. It's not like an entity or a person or a group of people. It's the code itself. So everybody can see the code. All wallets, everybody can see everybody else's wallets. They're all connected to each other. It's all full transparency, so you can see when a transaction happened at what time compared to this other person, how it's connected, who sold what to who, and how much, and it's transparency. You don't get that with banks. You can't tell
They
who's...
can change it either, can they?
No, because it's built into the blockchain. So now we're getting to the blockchain
Right.
technology.
Right.
So what blockchain is it's basically, like, I like to think of it, there's better ways to explain this because I've only been in it since January 3rd this year, but there's better way.
Loser.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I missed out. But believe me, I'm glad to be in it this long.
I think if we all knew about Bitcoin like 2013, we'd probably not.
Oh
be here.
jeez. Oh jeez. No. I wouldn't be here. I'd be on a stage somewhere probably. So basically,
Yeah, idiot.
yeah. No, I mean not in a negative way, but I would have the resources to be on a stage is a better way to put it. But
You know, can
Yeah,
I
but you
say a
don't.
little comment
Idiot.
here?
let's pause at blockchain. Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, you remind me of this guy in my class named Leo.
Yeah.
You're very informative.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's I'm trying to do this just to help people. Like, these are the questions. If I had me when I was starting, I would. I don't know what I would do. I'd be so thankful because this is exactly what I
I'm
was
definitely
looking
gonna
for.
invest in
I'm
Coinbase and Bitcoin because
Yeah,
I believe.
amen. You know what? You preach. Like, you
Well,
go, girl.
Yeah, that's
That's
not what
cool.
I'm trying to do though. I don't want the religious feeling brought into this, but
No,
you know,
no, but like,
Why do you
girl
stutter
boss.
so much?
Girl boss,
Uh,
right here.
my head has too much in it and I can't
'Cause
get it out appropriately.
You're stupid. Oh.
Okay, so legitimate question. What do
Yeah.
you use when you're mining? For your
Okay,
Bitcoin?
so I have
Do
a
you
mining
mine
rig.
for Bitcoin?
I have a mining rig. I just built one. I built
Uh-huh.
one to experiment because I needed to build one to better understand the space that I'm in. You know, like I wanted to better understand the reasons why I'm a part of this and why and solidify the idea of why I
Morgan,
believe in the system that I'm a part of, right? So I built it. I went through all the steps. Tried to make it
Like,
somewhat
what are the
efficient.
specs on it? Yeah. What are
I have a
we
30.
talking?
Yeah, sure. So we're still paused at blockchain
Blockchain.
technology. Blockchain
Blockchain,
technology. So we'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, it's fun to talk about. It's I love doing this stuff. But I have a it's called a I'll just run through all the parts. It's pretty simple, really. It's just like a computer, but glorified. Some parts are glorified. So
So you
I have
really have to upgrade the PC like to the maximum.
Well, you can make that decision after I give you all the stuff that I use, and it's not hard at all. So I have a
How much
B.
would you make? Sorry.
Well,
Keep
it's
going.
okay. 1 second. I have a B50 250 a BT 250 Asus mining 19 GPU mining motherboard. So it has 19 slots, 19 PCI slots. So you can put 19 graphics cards into this motherboard. It can't do much. It maxes out at i7 77K, which I have a processor, and I mine off the processor also. I mine Ravencoin. I mine Ethereum through a mining pool on my GPU, which is a 3090 ROG RTX 3090 OC.
So you can mine for small coins as well?
Yeah. One second here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let me just breeze through this because we don't need to spend too much time on this topic. But yeah, B250 mining motherboard from Asus. It's designed for this. It's specifically designed. That's what's so cool. You see this tutorial from Red Panda Mining. Check him out. He's awesome. He actually takes 5 hours of live video of him setting up a 19 GPU rig. It's the coolest thing in the world. It's so cool that people do this shit live. Every single thing plugged in for 5 hours straight, and while he's answering questions in his community on YouTube. So that's Red Panda Mining, I think. Yeah. So I have the i7. It's pretty limited. It's like 2017 technology, so maxed out back then. i7 77K CPU. I have 2400 is the max gigahertz on the RAM, or megahertz. I have 32 216s. I actually have the white.
Oh, just kick him.
That's
just
too loud.
kick him.
That's too loud in the background. Whoever's that got that.
He's just trolling.
Yo, who's the faggot that said that, dog? That's pretty mean.
So I have the white Dominator RAM. If you've ever seen the white Corsair RGB white RAM, it's so cool. It's overpriced, but
Yeah.
it's worth
Yeah.
it. Then I have the white limited edition 30 RTX 3090 Rogstrix. Rogstrix mining GPU, which is it's the fastest overclocking GPU on the market right now, and Nvidia is better than AMD in GPUs mining. AMD is better than Intel in CPU mining. Keep that in mind. And then I'm running some white Corsair
I don't understand how
RGB.
you're mining at different parts of your computer.
I'll show you in a second. I'll explain. And then I actually have a HP power supply, which is 94% efficient. They never break, and they're like $50. And for 1200 watts, I bought the 1200 watts plus the Pico breakout board and all the connectors for like $250 for a 1200 watt, 94% efficient power supply. And it can run, and the kicker is that it can run at 200. Two of them actually. I got two. Forgot about that because I have 19 GPUs possible. So it's super cheap. You can't even buy that. You can't even buy like 600 watts with all that stuff at Micro Center or something.
How much power is this pulling?
This should be pulling like the wattage on like 350 max on the GPU, the 3090, and then it should be pulling probably 150, 100, like maybe 400, 500, 600 watts on one GPU. So this can be really power intensive. But these HP power. Oh yeah, it's like a space heater for my room that I'm in at the moment. It's awesome. It's actually kind of cool because you're spending money on electricity to mine Bitcoin, getting paid in Bitcoin, but here's basically